Good morning students, a very warm welcome to you all. Today we will be studying history. This is a history and civics textbook. This is the front cover page of the textbook which shows us what we are going to learn in history this year. We see pictures of Shivaji Maharaj, official seal used during the time of Shivaji Maharaj, important cities, forts, monuments, literature books, etc. Thus, the history section is designed by focusing upon the place and role of Maharashtra in the making of medieval India. This is the back cover page of the textbook, which shows us that we will be learning about human rights and its importance and our duties towards our society and nation in the civics part. Children, why should we study history and civics? When we study history, we come to know about the achievements of our ancestors. When it is coupled with the study of civics, we understand our duties towards building the society and the nation. Today, let us begin with the very first chapter in history, that is, sources of history. Children, Indian history is divided into ancient Indian history, medieval Indian history, and modern Indian history. We studied ancient Indian history last year. This year, we are going to study the medieval period of Indian history. Broadly, the period from the 9th century CE, that is Common Era, till the end of the 18th century CE is considered to be the medieval period of Indian history. What is the meaning of history? History gives us a chronological, scientific and systematic account of the past events. Four factors, that is elements, are very important from the viewpoint of history. They are individuals, society, place and time. History must be based on authentic evidences or proofs. These proofs are known as sources of history. Sources of history should be verified through critical analysis, means part by part, to ascertain their authenticity, whether the source is reliable, not fake or copied, because the information reaching us must be true or else it may hold back our knowledge, which is not really good. These sources must be used carefully. Sources of history are classified, that is divided as material sources, written sources, oral sources. Material sources come under the category of architectural sources and artifacts. They can be seen and touched. Example, forts, buildings, pottery, etc. Written sources include literary sources, literature or letters, meaning using alphabets, letters which are in the form of written material. These sources can be seen and touched. These sources can also be read if you know the language and the script. Example, biographies. Oral sources are not documented, written, but passed from one generation to another through word of mouth. They can only be heard or understood. Example, povada, folk tales, folk songs, etc. Material sources. Material sources include forts, memorials, buildings, cave sculptures, inscriptions, coins, copper plates. Now, let us study these in detail. Forts. Forts are an important source in material sources. There are four types of forts. They are hill forts, sea forts, forest forts, and land forts or forts on plains. Hill forts. Hill forts are built on hills where artificial changes are made or the area of land is modified to be used as defensive shelter against attack or danger. It is used as a protective place situated on a hill or to keep an eye on the enemies when they attack. Example, Pratapgarh Fort near Satara in Maharashtra. Sea forts. Sea forts are completely surrounded by water and are built on a large part of an island or tidal islands because they provide defense from an enemy approaching to attack through the sea. Example, Sindhudurg Fort. Forest forts, also known as Vanadurga, are tracts of land surrounded by thick, impenetrable forests and trees. They are not visible from a distance and are surrounded by wild animals and reptiles. Jawri Fort in Maharashtra is a good example of forest fort. Land forts or forts on plains are also known as Bhui Kot. Bhui means land and Kot means Killa, that is fort. These are the forts built on plains. These were used as market city by traders. Example, Golconda Fort in Hyderabad was a market city for diamonds and gems. They were also used as a resting place for traders or as an assembly point by the soldiers before wars. Memorials and monuments. Memorials and monuments are structures created in remembrance of a person or event. They are sources of history which remind us of the past. Memorials include samadhis, graves, virgala, and monuments include buildings like palaces, ministerial mansions, queen's quarters, and houses of common people. Now, let us see the types of memorials. Samadhi. Samadhi is a structure built in the memory of a dead person. It is made up of stone where an important person is buried. Example, Samadhi of Mahatma Gandhi. Grave. Grave is a place where a dead body is buried in the graveyard. Virgalas are the martyr stones erected in the memory of the people who were killed, murdered, or who refused to surrender in front of the enemy. Buildings. Buildings include palaces, ministerial mansions, queen's quarters, Ranivas, and also houses of common people. They all provide insights about that period. Looking at them, we come to know about the development of architecture, the economic conditions, the quality of art, style of the building construction, and people's standard of living in that particular period. Monuments. Monuments enable us to know about the unique architectural designs, technological, social, religious, political, and economic conditions of that period. Examples of monuments are Ashoka's pillars, Ajanta caves, and Elephanta caves, etc. These are evidences of India's glorious heritage. Coins. The coins made by different rulers using metals like gold, silver, copper are important sources of history. From these coins, we learn about the rulers, their period, governance, religious ideas, personal details, etc. Similarly, we also learn about the financial transactions and economic conditions existing at that time. We also see how far metallurgy had advanced in that period. From the images of Ram Sita on the coins of Emperor Akbar or Shiv Parvati on the coins of Hyder Ali, we see the religious coordination of those days. The Peshwas used the Arabic or the Persian language on their coins. This throws light on the use of language in that period. Since ancient times, coins like Kaudi, Damdi, Dhela, Pai, Ana, Paisa, and Rupee were used. Some local idioms or proverbs are based on the coins. For example, ek futki kaudi denar nahi. Here, futki kaudi means the lowest bit of money. Sola ana sach means 100% true. Inscription. An inscription is a carving on a stone or a wall, etc. An inscription is considered to be a very important and reliable source of history. It helps us to understand features like the language, script, social life of a period. The earliest inscription found in India was written by Mauryan Emperor Ashoka. An example of inscription is the inscriptions found in the Brihadeshwara temple premises in Tanjavur. Inscriptions engraved on rock edicts, slabs, and stone pillars have been found in Maski and Brahmagiri in Karnataka. Many inscriptions of the period of Chalukya, Rashtrakuta, Chola and Yadav kings have been found. Inscriptions carved on sheets of copper are known as copper plates. They are called as Tamrapatra. Royal edicts, verdicts, etc. are inscribed on copper plates. The kings had inscriptions carved on copper plates as a sign of their power and wisdom. Children, do you know Chaityas, Viharas, temples, churches, mosques, agyaris, dargah, maqbara, gurudwara, sculptures, wells, minarets, clothes, ornaments, utensils, toys, musical instruments, village boundaries and gates, implements are all material sources of history. Here are the meanings of difficult words that we have come across during this session. Metallurgy, branch of science and technology concerned with the properties of metals and their production. Glorious, having or deserving fame or success. Heritage, property that is or may be inherited. Coordination, unity or tolerance. Edicts, an official order issued by a person in authority. Verdicts, the decision that is made by the jury in a court of law which states if a person is guilty of a crime or not. All these material sources provide the most authentic information in writing history. With this, we end this session. We will be studying the written sources and the oral sources in the next session. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.